Good morning, YouTube, and today I'll be profiling for you my clown deck. This is a very fun old deck that I know a lot of people have put a lot of effort to in the past, and so I'll do my best not to upset any of those die-hard clown fans, but let's hop right into it. Starting off with our monsters, we're in a playset of Dream Clown. This is one of your main focuses of the deck, believe it or not. Whenever you switch from attack position to defense position, you can destroy one monster on your opponent's side of the field. Now, this original text says select, but that has since been removed, and so now just destroy one card on your opponent's side of the field, so it doesn't target, which is fantastic for a lot of other things that prevent you from targeting it, and they'll come into effect later on. We have a lot of effects that go along with just this guy right here. The kind of opposite is the Crass Clown. I always thought it was the Grass Clown, but anyway, it's Crass Clown. And so whenever he switched from defense to attack position, you get to return a card, or a monster rather, from your opponent's side of the field to the hand. So it's essentially the opposite, and gives you ability to do that. And there's a lot of fun things that unique switching to battle position. Even with today's meta, it's still fun, and you can do some pretty fun stuff with it. Next one, a playset of Pentit the Dark Clown. Whenever he's banished, or you can banish one of them from the graveyard to special summon one from the deck, and that's not once per turn, so it's just a nice, gives you some field presence, gives you a target for Foolish, just an all-around pretty decent card, and so we run him as a playset, as the Clown. Next, we run probably the most popular Clown nowadays, is Performance Trick Clown. We only run two because you only use it once per turn, and it can be kind of dead in hand sometimes, but it's still something you want to see, and gives you some options for rank 4s. There's a lot of extensive plays and kind of fun. We run a playset of Mystic Clown and a playset of Soggy the Dark Clown. Now, these seems to be a lot of Rescue Rabbit targets, as you can probably guess ahead of time, but it actually kind of doesn't hurt the deck too much. So we run it as a playset of each. You'll normally see one of them in your opening hand, which kind of sucks, but in the same sense, it's not too bad for you to play a playset of both, as for those of you who played back in the Dino Rabbit days. It's not too bad, and it's worth it in the end, in my opinion. We run two of the Rescue Rabbit to search off all these targets. It's not necessarily something that you need at 3. You could definitely try it at 3, but it's fun right now at 2, in my opinion. Another random rabbit, run a Blade Rabbit. This is really just another copy of your Dream Clown, and that's really all he is. He just switches from attack position to defense position. You get to destroy a monster in the field. Doesn't target just as well. And since we don't do any of that targeting, we run two of that round boy, the Raw Sphere mode. This definitely works great with, especially with your Crass Clown, your Dream Clown, any of them, because his effect prevents him from being targeted by card effects, not by just regular run-of-the-mill returning to hand and destruction. Now, you know, especially in today's meta, there's so many links, they can't be switched to the defense position. You want to clear their field as quickly as possible. This is definitely the way to do it in this deck. On to our spell cards. We're in a playset of Stumbling. The wonderful thing about this card is it's continuous spell. Any monster that's normal summoned, flip summoned, or special summoned is switched to the defense position immediately. So that lets you activate your Blade Rabbit or your Dream Clown immediately upon summon, and prevents your opponent from going for a lot of those OTKs that they can potentially do. And it's an old card, but it works really well, especially in this deck. A playset of Twin Twisters. This is definitely for one of those things. You can discard your Trick Clown. You can discard your Pentit the Dark Clown to give you that extra summon. Really, whenever you play this deck, you're going to be playing against a lot of Rogue, most likely, and so we run around some background instruction. Obviously, you can swap this out, especially like one of them up for another Rescue Rabbit, but I like it at 3 in my build. Next, run a Lightning Vortex. Again, discard outlet. You know, Rageki's better, but this is definitely not that bad of a card, along with our Dark Hole. A Reinforcement of the Army, because, again, our Dream Clown's probably our main focus of the deck, and so you want to see it as quickly as possible, so we run that. A Foolish Burial. You can do this to set up for your Pentit or your Trick Clown. It's always fantastic in any deck that relies on doing effects in the graveyard. A 1 Day of Peace, because a lot of times you want to protect your monsters, your life points rather, because you take a lot of damage in this deck, especially when you're switching from defense to attack position, back and forth all the time. So you want to protect yourself as much as possible, so we run that as 1. Next, we're on to one of my old favorite cards, Labyrinth of Nightmare. During each player end phases, the turn player switches the battle positions of their monsters. So during your turn, you could potentially get off a Dream Clown, Crass Clown, or Blade Rabbit off twice in the same turn. So it's kind of neat, and makes your opponent have to think about it. It's kind of a reminiscent if you play Magic. I don't really play Magic, but it's kind of like Summoning Sickness. So it's really kind of fun, and gives you another option in this deck, and can be maniacal, also continuous. Next, we run a No Entry. Now, this card, I kind of looked at it twice. I saw a lot of people play it once when I finally looked up some profiles, but it actually has some applications. You can use it in a timely manner to get off your effects and disrupt your opponent's plays. It's pretty darn nice, and so we run it as a playset. Rounding up our traps and our main deck, we run a playset of Dark Mirror Force. This is one of those really fun cards that you never get to see played because switching or stuff in defense position doesn't really happen too often. And so it's essentially a regular Mirror Force, but whenever your opponent declares an attack, it destroys all the defense position monsters. So if you set up with some No Entries or some other cards, it can really mess with them, and so we run it as a playset because it's a fun card. Our extra deck starts out with 3 Mecha-equipped Engineer. I'm probably butchered that pronunciation, but this is one of those things that you can switch the battle position of a face-up attack position monster, and just switch to the defense position, and then you can make it unable to be destroyed by card effects. That's in itself is pretty darn great. So running as a playset, this is something you definitely bump down to 2, but I wouldn't recommend running it at 1 or none. Definitely a fantastic card in this deck with all the possibilities you can do with it. Next, run a Wind-Up Zenmain. So something I looked at when I was looking at the extra deck, these cards that can be viable in attack and or defense position, and Wind-Up Zenmains can use this effect in attack or defense position. So we run them as 1. Leviair, because we want to see that Rescue Rabbit back again whenever we can. A number 47 Nightmare Shark for attacking for games, doing the extra little bit of damage. A number 20 Giga Brilliant, who's really just a stepping stone and go into Digital Bug Corbage. Corbage has a really nice effect. If you played Burning Abyss back in the day, a lot of people are trying to check this card in. It's a pretty decent effect. Next, for our rank 4s, run a Gaga Cowboy. A number 52 Diamond Crab King. It's really fun because he can be utilized to always make his stat the appropriate attack and defense. Photon Popper Operative, switching some battle positions. Baguska, because especially a lot of times whenever during your end phase you want to switch him from attack so you can use your effects, and then during the end phase you want him in defense position so you get his blanket negates. Pretty darn nice. And rounding up our extra deck run, Utopia, Utopia Prime, and Utopia Lightning. Just for some extra, rank 4 possibilities. And that's going to wrap up our clown deck profile. This is definitely a really fun deck that I've had a lot of enjoyment doing. I built it online, and then I looked up some profiles afterward. That's kind of the way I build things. And there's a huge following on this deck. So I hope if you are a dedicated follower, you can find something from this. Even if not, if you're just hopping into the deck, hopefully you can get some of these ideas and make it your own. And let me know in the comment section down below what different decks you would do. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.